You think we live on a spinning ball?
I do. I've
right.
thought that for a very long time. But hello and welcome to the Cognac Room. I am your host, Jay Christian, and today we have a special guest in the house. Flat Earth Dave. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm always referred to as a special guest, like special guest. Be nice. The guy thinks the earth is flat.
Yeah, you're definitely a special guest, but not in that way. Not in that way. I'm very excited to have you on the show. Mostly
Thanks.
because I really am. And mostly because I've been entertaining the idea of the earth being flat, I say, in the past 2 years, right? And I've said some things to some people and they give me that look. But I do believe that the earth is a spinning globe until I find further evidence to convince me.
That is a great way to look at it. So let's just start out. Can you give me one reason why you think the earth is a spinning globe?
I will.
Let's go one by one at a time, and we'll address them, and then we'll see what happens from there. And I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to show you some doors that you may never knew that existed, and give you some things to look at. When people say, well, ships go over the horizon from the bottom up. Well, yeah, if the earth was a ball, that would be the case. But is there another reason why ships would appear to go over the horizon? So we're going to look at some things that maybe you never considered. So back to you.
Okay, cool. So let's start with the most obvious one. It's what we were taught in school. It's what all the photos and videos that we've seen show us.
So that's what we were taught. I mean, so you believe that whatever anyone tells you, you believe it.
No.
Listen, you look like a nice guy. I believe, we're all trusting people. And the way that evil wins in this world is people that are good can't even fathom the amount of evil that there is in this world. So would somebody lie to you if it was for their benefit? I say yes. And why the lie? We'll get into that after we go through some of these proofs. But that is the most important question. So that's what you were told. That's not science. Hey, I'm broadcasting from Mars right now. I just told you that. So according to the way you look at it is you have to believe me. So let's have some proof. You said photos. Well, right now, this isn't a photo. This is a video from 120,000 feet showing a flat stationary Earth. Now you have to believe, if you believe in the heliocentric model, that world below me is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. It's orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour when the sun is right there. Does that look like I'm flying through space at 66,000 miles an hour? And I'm also
it does not
chasing the sun at over 500,000 miles per hour. Do you see any of that? And the answer is no, because everything that we observe is the opposite of that. So here is two photos. They're not actually photos. NASA will never use the term photo. They'll say images or pictures because that's what they are. They're images and pictures. This one is the blue marble, which was on everyone's iPhone. And this one came out a few years later. Do you see a problem with these? And what I'm showing here for those of you that are listening, the United States is twice the size in one from the other. So that makes no sense whatsoever. And then some people will say, well, it's taken from closer range. Once you look at it and you can see that these images, have the same diameter, there's no chance that the United States could be twice that size from one to the other. It's just a bad painting. Yeah, I mean that, and it gets worse. I mean, once you start really looking at NASA, here's the funny thing: NASA admits that they have no photographs of Earth. They say that the guy that made the blue marble, his name was why am I saying Gene Simmons? That's the guy from Kiss. Gene Simmons is the singer from Kiss, right? Whatever his name is, Robert Simmons. Robert Simmons. He said he made it in Photoshop. Got strips of data and he designed it in Photoshop, his own words, to make it look like what you would expect. And he was very lazy Photoshopper. He Photoshopped the same clouds again and again. He talked about how he chose colors based on just data. There's more bacteria in this area, so I'll make it bluer or greener. Once you start understanding that the scale of all of these models, that these pictures they show us are off, it makes no sense. And you realize that the images that they're showing us are cartoons. They're literally cartoons. And here's the question I'd like to ask people. When did you find out about space travel and the globe? And did they show you anything other than cartoons?
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I found out about it in my childhood in elementary school. Never saw anything other than cartoons per se. Right. Even the pictures in the textbooks weren't actual pictures, I don't think. But yeah, so one of the things with that is, for me, I was extremely interested in space travel, and I wanted to be an astronaut as an elementary school child. We all did. Yeah. And so I do realize that, and they said that it's a lot of these are just quote unquote like a replica or a representation, that is not actual stuff. But now they say, or they claim to have real images.
Who
real
does?
life images?
They don't. NASA. They have there's people say, what about the what's the satellite, the Japanese satellite called I'm spacing on the name, it'll come to me in a second, but there's a satellite that supposedly takes a picture of Earth every 15 minutes and you can see actual live cloud data on it. And what that is, it's very simple to do, is basically they just have a model of the Earth in a big dark room where it has, it's lit up, it has lights on it, it turns, everything. It's just a model where they take a picture of that and then they take current radar data of clouds and wrap it around the ball, and every 15 minutes later they release an image, and it shows accurate cloud data. Very, very simply done. It's a simple little wizard trick, and and that's it. Going back to the picture here, I found the picture I was looking for. I think it was the 2012 image of Earth. If we measure across Baja and Mexico, we can scientifically prove that it's 934 miles because you can measure that. And they tell us the diameter of the Earth, a straight line through it, would be 7,917 miles. I should be able to fit this distance in here 8.5 times between these lines. And as you can see, it doesn't, maybe 3.5 will fit, not 8.5. So again, right. These images that you say are one of the reasons that you believe the Earth is a ball are provably cartoons. So I think we could safely remove that from your proof, and I'm sure you have others that can fill in the hole.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but here's one of the things that I want to say, and I'm not trying to prove your theory.
No. Well, here's what we're trying. I'm not trying to listen. Yeah. We're having a discussion. I'm just showing you that you had I would like to call it a former belief that the images that they showed you of the Earth were proof. Now I just kind of showed you, maybe those aren't proof. So that's fine. Take it off. But hopefully you have a big pile of globe proofs that you're going to present to me. And basically I'm looking at it as a bowl of candy, and I'm just going to eat all of your candy. So what do you got next?
Love it. So the thing is with the scale, there are people who would say to you that, it's not an accurate representation. So yeah, the measurements may be off because this, that, and the third, but it actually really is, because there are people who argue about the different scale of the maps and how some of the maps are flipped upside down. I'm sure you've heard about that.
But we're not talking about a map. We're talking about a photograph of Earth from space. The scale needs to be perfect. If it's a photograph, it has to be perfect. And now, the reason all of our maps are screwed up is because they're trying to wrap it around a ball. They're trying to, and you can't do that. Go get draw a picture on a piece of paper and then try to wrap it around a ball without it getting all screwed up. Not easy.
Can't do it. Yeah. Okay. So then I know you've heard this one, and it's one of mine too. But then when I think about it, see, now you've got me in this other mindset.
I got you thinking. That's all I want.
Yeah.
All I want to do. Here's the thing. You said you learned about space travel and the globe in elementary school. That's partially true. That's just when you remember it. You were taught about the globe and space travel before you could talk. Okay. The cartoons that your parent, the books that the children's books, they're all globe programming. This is all done before, before you can even talk. So, when you watch Disney, there's astronauts on Disney, and it's all globe programming. So you program somebody, from birth to age 7 with all of this fantasy and space. That's their core belief. It's really hard to let it go. But once, now using your adult mind, you have to deprogram yourself. So go ahead.
All right. So I think what other people the arguments that I know of and that the people that I know think the earth is round know of are all basically the same. And I'm sure you've heard them all. There's the one that says that scripture teaches that the earth is round.
Okay, so that's a good one. Now there's two lines here. There's people that believe in scripture and there's people that don't. So the people that don't believe in scripture, they're just going to discount it before you even start. That's fine. For those of you that do believe in scripture, my co-host Matt Long, excuse me, on I do the Flat Earth podcast. He comes from the biblical side of events, and there is over 200 verses in the Bible that talk about a flat and movable earth. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about planets. Nowhere does it talk about spheres. Only in 1 or 2 verses, I believe Isaiah, I'm not sure the verse number, talks about the circle. Excuse me, I'm getting over a chest cold here. The circle of the earth. Well, a circle, a lake can be a circle. A coin is a circle, not a sphere. So just backing out a little bit, what is the earth? We're not a disk floating in space. That's not flat earth. No flat earther believes that. What is the flat earth? We live in what I call the Antarctic basin, right? The world is a giant pond, a giant lake, and the shoreline of a pond or a lake is where the land is higher than the surface of the water, right? So that's the container of the lake. Excuse me while I sip my tea, struggling to talk here. And so large bodies of water at rest need a container. Antarctica is the container of our world. So you can sail around the lake, you can sail in circles, and a clockwise circle is west, a counterclockwise circle is east. But if you sail away from the center in any direction, that's south. And when you keep going south, you'll hit the shoreline of our pond, and that's Antarctica. So what's out here? That's a great question. It's all off limits. No one's allowed to go there. Are there more worlds? Are there more worlds out there? Are there more oceans and other land? We don't know, but I truly believe that there are other lands out there with people on them. You might even call them extraterrestrials because they're coming from the extra territory.
Okay. So I want to ask you this. You get your information from where exactly?
It comes from everywhere. People go, where do you get your information from? YouTube? YouTube isn't a source of truth or false. YouTube is a platform that hosts information. Right now, it's highly censored. It's, I don't know if you're aware, but they're removing all sorts of information from YouTube. So do I just believe videos? Absolutely not. When I first was dragged into this whole flat earth idea of a flat earth, I was dragged in kicking and screaming, and and I didn't want to look at it at all. But then I saw all of these videos. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. let me go verify it myself. So rather than, I could see that these people did it, but I wanted to see it myself. Like one of the examples was we'd look at boats over the horizon and we would see, that you can zoom in on them and bring them back into view again. And I bought a super zoom camera, tripod, went down and I zoomed in on a buoy that should have been 60 feet below the curve. And I could see it, and I could see the surface of the water far beyond it. And I learned by actual experience from videos that I saw on YouTube that the angular resolution limits of our eyes are the reason that things disappear into the distance, not curvature. So right now I'm showing you zooming in on a boat. You can't see the boat here because its angular size is too small. But as I zoom in and make its size bigger, all of a sudden you can see this boat. So I'm going to zoom all the way in on the sailboat and you can see the whole side. Now, as I zoom away, which is the same thing as the boat just sailing away from me, it'll start disappearing from the bottom up. And that has to do with the angular size. It has to do with the size of these little waves in the foreground, which create a false horizon. And then the whole thing disappears. A glober would tell you that it's over the curve. Your programming would tell you that, but it's not. It's just too small for your eyes to see. Nothing goes over the curve. Things do disappear from the bottom up for different reasons. A celestial object, which is in the sky, versus a terrestrial object like a boat or a city skyline, they disappear for some of the same and some different reasons.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, but I was actually aware of that. Me and a guy had a conversation about the curvature of the earth, and he too showed me some videos on YouTube where quote unquote flat earthers had set out to prove that there was no curvature, and it made all the sense in the world. It made all the sense in the world to me, which kind of got me to thinking. But then when we think about the whole flat earth thing, I've seen different representations of the earth, one being like a disc or circular, one being more like rectangular. Excuse me. And Antarctica, in both depictions, was around, like kind of around, like you said, the bowl or the boundary.
Was the shoreline of our world.
Shoreline of the world, right?
Yeah. So let me go back to my lake picture. So this is essentially where we live. Our sun circles around here and it's melted out this pond, and all of these continents, they're the islands, they're surrounded by water, but all of the water needs a container. It's surrounded by Antarctica. Antarctica, they tell us, is the highest land on earth. They tell us it's a continent at the bottom of a ball. It's also the highest continent. It's kind of weird. But in reality, all of this is off limits. Nobody's allowed to go beyond 60 degrees south. Okay, that's still far, far from Antarctica. And no one's independently allowed to explore out here. You can spend, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 to go to this little peninsula for a couple of days, stay on a boat. No one's allowed to go out here and see what's going on. And the reason is that you figure out where you don't live, which is on a spinning ball.
Okay. Now, what they tell you or tell us is that, so, all right, man, my mind is racing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
When you get on a ship to sail someplace, or when you get in a plane to fly someplace, if the flat earth theory is correct, then places are actually closer, in theory, closer than what they would have us believe.
Some of them are farther.
Okay. So how do we explain the time that it takes to travel these distances on an aircraft to places that would, in essence, be closer than what is believed or is taught?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. So on a flat earth, Santiago, Chile is on the opposite end of the earth to Australia. Okay. Right. So this is this, on a flat earth, Santiago is all the way over here. All the way to the other side is Australia. So the flight route that they would take, this is the actual flight route that goes all the way up to across the equator to the north, across America, and then all the way back down. Why would they do that? And if they want to go to Western Australia, remember this route. Ready? We go all the way back up, just like the other one. We go all the way across the ocean to Far East and Singapore and down. This is the route that they would take. Now, why don't they just cut across the underside of the ball, right? If the Earth is like that, why don't they just cut right across Antarctica?
Mm-hmm.
And so remember that route I showed you? It goes all the way up and all the way over. On a flat Earth, if you want to go to Western Australia, it goes all the way up across America, Far East, Singapore, Western Australia. It's a straight line. Okay. Right. So the question is, how does it go that distance? And the answer is, there's two answers. One, the Qantas flight that does that trip is a special airplane. It has we don't know much about it, but during our research, we found that it has 7 layers of heat resistant paint on it. What does that suggest? And wow. There's only a couple of military pilots that fly it, and we've interviewed many pilots, and the Qantas pilots, off the record, say that they all know the Earth is flat, and they talk about it openly amongst themselves. Sorry, just trying to knock off.
I understand. So I have a question then.
Go ahead.
What are some of the best arguments for round Earth that you've heard?
None. There's none. there absolutely are none. So let's talk about round Earth for a second. Here, I'm going to give you the best argument for round Earth. I'm going to be probably a little sarcastic. All right. So on round Earth, you have to believe that you're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right? Because the Earth is 24,000 miles around, takes a full day for it to go around, over 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. Okay. So when you watch the sunset, the sun's not going away and down, which it obviously is. You're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound because you're on a spinning ball flying in a space vacuum. While that's going on, you're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. Okay. You're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, and that entire system is moving sideways at another speed. So let's just talk about what those speeds actually mean. So if I could find my video, 66,000 miles an hour. That's our orbiting speed, right? And if you look at that, I'm stalling as I'm looking for my video because Zoom loves smooth stuff. Here we go. This is the hypersonic sled. Watch it carefully right here. It's going to go by at Mach 8.6, and you couldn't even see it. Let's show it again. So you have to believe that we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that. Okay. The big blue squishy ball, water covered Earth is orbiting the sun 10 times faster than what you are seeing here. At the same time, it's chasing the sun 90 times faster. Okay. In curving trajectories, speeding up and slowing down, changing its path. Okay. Imagine if you were in a car on a perfectly smooth road, nice car, and you had a dinner plate filled with water to the brim. That car sped up, slowed down, or turned. What's going to happen to that water? Right. But meanwhile,
it's going to spill.
Meanwhile, here on Earth, with those ridiculous, impossible speeds, we have lakes that are perfect glass without a ripple, right? If we're speeding up, if we were curving, people go, well, it's constant speed. Well, no, we're speeding up and slowing down. They tell us all year long, speeding up, we're whipping around the sun. We're spinning, not in a straight line, and a curve, okay? Neil deGrasse Tyson, the high priest of scientism, he says because of the spin of the Earth, the water at the equator bulges 14 miles high. That's ridiculous. 14 miles high, an airplane only flies 5 miles high. At what point, when you're flying from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, do you climb an extra 10 miles just to skim over a hump of water? The answer is never, okay? Because the Earth is flat.
Mm.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to, because I recall you mentioning that you were dragged into this flat Earth thing,
Yeah.
kicking and screaming. Like, tell us about when you first discovered flat Earth, or was even the first time you ever heard of it, and tell us the progression, how that went.
So I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking into many of the deceptions that are happening in this world, from the thing that happened in New York to other big deceptions. And I have a lot of loyal fans, and people said, "Hey, Dave, have you looked into flat Earth?" And first I thought that was just a joke. Then the emails kept coming, and they're like, "Hey, look at this," and I wouldn't click on it. Watch this 2-minute video. Wouldn't do it. Stupid. Not worth my time. And the people that kept sending them, I banned them from my social media. You're too stupid to comment on our social media that if you think the Earth is flat, because I was brainwashed, right? But then I was speaking with my good friend Sophia Smallstorm, who's another amazing researcher, and we were talking about some crazy, bang bang events that were going on. And I said, Sophia, I'm just so blown away. There's so much deception in this world. And she goes, David, it's worse than that. Like, what do you mean? She goes, I think the Earth might be flat. And I just like, are you kidding me? She goes, watch these videos. And she sent me over a couple videos. And I was like, okay, those are interesting, but I'm just going to prove the Earth is a globe and be done with this, right? And for 2 weeks, I dug in day and night looking for one proof of the globe. I had them all, ships over the horizon, Aristophanes with his sticks and shadows 2,000 years ago, sunsets, seasons. And when you look into them, you find out all of them not only work on a flat Earth, some of them prove flat Earth.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Could I show you how the sun? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let me show you a little demonstration, because sunsets, how does the sun set on a flat Earth, right? Because you'll see lots of troll videos going, if your sun is 30 miles wide and 3,000 miles high, it would never set. Well, I don't believe that's how our sun is. So, but let's talk about how we see the sun, whatever it is. So this is my flat Earth kitchen. And is this line level? Do you see the string? Does it look level to you? It is level. And I proved it's level. And I'm showing you the sun moving across it from a celestial point of view at a celestial object. Now, this is a terrestrial object. It could be a mountaintop or a cloud deck. It's just opaque, and the sun never drops below it. Now I'm going to show you the same thing from the other side, from a terrestrial point of view, from the counter. Now, if I showed you this first, I'd say, is this line level? What would you say? Doesn't look level, right? So then it also looks like it's going below this top, this thing here. It's going below it. And this is because it's far away. It looks like it's at eye level, even though we know it's higher than the counter, but it looks like it's at eye level. Now I'm going to compare that to a real sunset. So here's the sun going away, and you think this is the horizon, but this is the atmospheric deck of opacity, I call it. It's just an opaque layer of the atmosphere, and the sun is just going beyond it, just like it's going beyond it here, right? Look at this line. It almost looks like it's going straight down, but it's just going on, and it just goes away. So that's how perspective works, and that's how we see the sunset. Pretty interesting, right?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of two theories as it relates to flat Earth, and one is that the Earth is flat, but it still spins.
Nope.
Right. And
I'm not aware of that theory, by the way. I'm not aware of that theory.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it.
Well, that's a disinformation theory because there is no movement to the Earth, and every test that's looked for axial rotation or curvature has failed. Go ahead.
Okay, and then there's the theory that, there's the one. Okay, that's what it is. So there's one that the sun sits still and the Earth goes around the sun, and then there's one that the Earth stands still and the sun goes around the Earth.
Those are two different theories, but if you look, out at observations, you can see, first, every sense that you have tells you that you're not moving. And when you look at the sun going away, you can clearly see that the sun is not going down. It's just moving away. And 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 that basically that's it. I mean, go out, imagine you knew nothing about the world and you went outside and you experienced the world it is. And then I came along and said, hey, you're on a ball spinning through a space vacuum and nothing in the sky is moving. You're moving. You would just kick me right out. You'd probably beat my ass. All right. Because it's the dumbest thing ever. And I'm insulting your intelligence. But we've been brainwashed so long with all of the space movies and these so-called scientists that only use the word science. It's all pseudoscience. There's nothing about astronomy that they can prove. None of it. They tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. It's clearly not. I mean, and when you look at Mars, like or Jupiter. Jupiter's been up in the sky lately. It's been right near the moon. It's bright as can be. Well, from Jupiter, the sun is literally almost the size of a star. So you have to believe that a distant sun is lighting up Jupiter, a gassy, really not reflective planet, so bright that its light is going back to Earth and it looks brighter than any star in the sky. How can a distant sun that's tiny light it up and then all of that light travel back to Earth where we can see it in the evening sky? Right. And it would be brighter than any star. That makes no sense. And if that was the case, why is there a dark side to some planets? Why wouldn't the distant stars light them up too? Okay. Because there's light coming from all different directions. It's all nonsense.
Damn. Okay. I mean, it's very, very interesting because like I said, I've toyed with the idea a little bit. I've looked at some pictures and diagrams. I've watched a couple of videos. But it makes.
Go ahead. No, finish.
No, it makes you consider the possibility. Like I said earlier, it definitely makes you consider the possibility.
Here's the thing. Belief is the enemy of knowing, as my friend Crow 777 Radio says. You can believe anything you want. It takes no effort, and then you got the whole day free. You want to know something? Well, I've been studying this for 6 years straight now. Every day. I don't just believe it. I know it. All right. And I know that there's lots of things I don't know. But one thing I know for sure is we're not on a spinning ball flying through a space vacuum because that's impossible. You can't have high pressure gas in a vacuum. You need a container. So you say that you've watched some videos and stuff. The problem is where you're going to watch those videos. Because YouTube is hiding all of the good flat earth stuff. If you Google flat earth, you might as well just give up because they're going to feed you propaganda. So let me share my screen here.
Wow.
This is my app. It's called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And basically it shows you how the sky is a perfect clock. The sun is the hour hand. And if you look right now, it's over the red line, which is the equator. Because we're right about at the equinox. I think we just had it yesterday. The sun migrates, the sun that we see migrates in between the inner yellow line and the outer yellow line. The inner one is the Tropic of Cancer. The outer one is the Tropic of Capricorn. So in a few months, I'll jump the sun forward. To December, it's out over the Tropic of Capricorn, and Australia has their summer because it's high above them. It's close to them. It's high in the sky, right? Southern Africa, Madagascar, it's hot there in December because the sun is directly over them. United States, where I believe you're in the United States, right? Where are you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm up here in Connecticut. It's winter because the sun is farther away. But 6 months later, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sun is back over the Tropic of Cancer. Look, it's hot in Miami. It's hot in Southern California, Mexico, because the sun is higher in the sky, closer to them. And that's how seasons work. So real quick, that's how that works. But here's the challenge I have for everybody, including you. I'm offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. And here's the challenge. Every day there's a new video that shows up under featured video. Watch that video every day for 2 weeks. Okay. And at the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the earth is still a globe, you send me 1 proof and you win 3 Bitcoins. That's like, I don't know, 140 grand today. But before you do, you have to hit the question mark. The question mark is the frequently asked questions. And up come, hey, what about eclipses? What about ships over the horizon? That's what got me, ships over the horizon. If I click ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist that YouTube doesn't want you to see. These are videos that YouTube will not serve you, that will show you things that you didn't realize and show you how to go verify this stuff yourself. Okay. So this is your answer to Google censorship. The app also has tons of other resources. I don't know if you looked into mud floods, bottom right there, mud floods, that'll blow you away. All sorts of different stuff. Books. Here's one of my favorite 16 emergency landings that prove flat earth. I'll show you an example of one of those in a minute. Also, people say, Brian Cox, the another deceiver in the science community, he says there are no flat earthers. There's no one really believes that the earth is flat. Never in all of history. Well, in reality, if I hit the question mark here, the photos, all history, if I here, all cultures before NASA believed the earth was flat. They all had flat cosmologies, and only NASA has changed that. But there's a new feature on here called the Friend Finder. Click this handshake. This shows you where the other flat earthers are around you. Just let it populate for a second. Each one of those dots is another flat earther, right? This is for me. I have 125 within 50 kilometers of me. Okay. And I could zoom in, right? Right now, we have an update coming. The app is running a little sluggish, as you can see, because there's so many people on here. And I'm going to do a thing with it's called pagination and Google clusters, which will make it go super fast. But I can click on one of those dots as it resets. If I click on one of those dots, I could send that person a message and connect. So this is bringing people together. Okay. There's so many people that say, flat earth, it's so lonely. I don't have anyone to talk to. Well, now you can find out that your neighbor, someone down the road, you can have instant meetups. You can message these people. Super fun and bringing people together, which is what they don't want. Right now, they want us living in fear. They want us not talking to each other. They want us 6 feet from each other. This is all taking away our humanity. And flat earth brings you back. One of the things is when I was doing all of these other this conspiracy show about all these other deceptions, you could wake people up to these things and then they go right back to sleep. But once you wake someone up to flat earth, all of a sudden, then they can see everything. You still there? Did I lose you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So.
No, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can. Do we have a delay?
I think so.
If you want to jump out and come back in. We got a massive delay.
Let me try something real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. What about now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. And now we're good.
Okay, cool.
Great. All right. That was kind of a sidetrack there. That's how you learn about flat earth. You don't Google flat earth. You Google flat earth, just give up. Just you're a glober forever. And that's my app. It's called the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Don't get any knockoffs, because if you do, don't send me an email telling me my app stinks, because it doesn't. It's the highest rated app in both the App Store and the Google Play Store. So check it out. Learn about flat Earth. Take the challenge. Right? It's $3 for the app. Take the challenge and win your Bitcoins if you're so confident. Right? But I've been doing this for a while. No one. A couple of people have tried, and then they agreed, like, all right, I guess what I thought was proof wasn't proof. And it's not just me going, nope, that's false. We're going to show you why it's false. We're going to show you why it's false. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's the thing. Well, you were going to show me something. I'll let you do that first.
What was I going to show you?
I don't know. You were going to show me emergency landings or something.
Oh, emergency landings. Absolutely. So there's a flight. Here's one. A flight from Taiwan to Los Angeles. And right about out here, there was an emergency, medical emergency. They needed to land. I forget what it was. But well, you're the pilot. Where are you going to land? Maybe Hawaii?
Jeez. Yeah, maybe.
Hawaii, or maybe continue on. Would you go to Alaska?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
No, because Alaska is way out of the way. But if you look at the actual flight route, they actually went to Alaska. And the reason is Taiwan, emergency, Alaska is right there. Hawaii is all the way out here. Okay. This has happened 16, 17 times. There's a book called 16 Emergency Landings That Prove Flat Earth. Every single one of these, if you look at where they landed the plane, it makes no sense on a globe. It's way out of the way. Everything, like, why did they go to Moscow? But then if you look on a flat Earth map and you draw a line from the origin to the destination, all of those emergency landings are right along the line on every flight. How many times does this have to happen for someone to realize they're lying to us about these flight routes? Right?
Wow.
If you want to go from Buenos Aires to Cape Town, South Africa, on a globe, you go all the way up over the top of this and then all the way back down, rather than just cutting straight across like a globe would say. And the reason is because the world isn't laid out like that, right? Here's a way to prove the Earth is a globe. Very, very simple. So they tell us that Antarctica is about 13,000 miles around, right? So we get two airplanes and we fly to over here to the base in the coast of Antarctica. And you and I get on the plane, Neil deGrasse Tyson, scientists, teachers, everybody. And one plane just follows the coastline about 1,000 feet in the air so you can see it, and goes around counterclockwise. The other one goes around clockwise. And about 9 hours later, they'll meet over here, about 6,000 or 7,000 miles of traveling. You with me? Right? And
with you.
So they would meet right there, and that would prove that this is the size that they tell us. The problem is they can't do it because it's much bigger than that. The last person, excuse me, the last person to try and do that was Captain Cook. And he went, if I can find my Captain Cook map, he went over it took him 3.5 years, and he went over 60,000 miles. Okay. How is that possible? How do you go around something that's 13,000 miles and travel 60,000 miles and it take 6.5 years? Still looking for the image, but they instead of going around a little ball, they go all the way around here, right? It's never been done in the time that they say. So that would prove it right there inside one day. I guess I lost my image, but here it is. This is the route Captain Cook took. 3.5 years, went over 60,000 miles. Jeez. They could put this to bed in one day. 2 airplanes, bunch of gas, a bunch of people, could crowdfund it. But the problem is they'll never do it because they can't.
This is so interesting. So, all right. Now, here's a question, because I know people personally who these are the things that they've said or that they would say. So who created the flat earth map, or who created the flat earth images, or how did you guys get this information if there are no images and if there's no true
we don't have a photo of Earth. We don't even have a full understanding of the map, but the map that we use, the most accurate map right now is the Gleason's map, which I'm showing on my app. And it's funny that all of these agencies that kind of run the world, all of their logos have the same flat earth map. Okay. Why does the United Nations, why do these agencies have the flat earth map? And where the hell is Antarctica? Okay. So the information that is coming out now, when you start looking into our true history, they tell us, we think we're at the pinnacle of intelligence and civilization right now, when the truth is we're literally in the middle of the movie Idiocracy. There was an advanced civilization here in the 1800s, worldwide advanced. I mean, look at the buildings that were built in that, they say were built in the 1800s. We couldn't build that stuff today. This is all high tech, amazing architecture. Look at the pyramids, all of that stuff. There's so much that's being hidden from us. It's right here in front of our faces.
Okay, so the next big question.
Go.
Why
the lie?
Are they lying?
Yeah.
Why are they lying?
Why are they?
Why would they? Well,
first, who are they? And then we'll talk about why the lie.
So they would be, I would have to say, governments. I'd have to. That's the only they I can think of. But why would governments and scientists or whatever, want us to believe that the Earth is round when it's not? What benefit? Is there? Yeah.
So there's we call it the round table. You got the United Nations, the Bilderberg Group, the Church of Rome. You got all of these, the Trilateral Commission. You got all these agencies that are all connected. These are the people that run the world. The governments, their strings are being pulled by the real power. Who's the real power? These are the royal families, the Rothschilds and above, names that we don't even know, people that we don't see. The real rulers of this realm are hiding our history. And our history, the deception, is less than 100 years old. Everyone in the 1920s and 30s knew the Earth was flat. Okay, that's a whole nother lie that has happened. So why the lie? What's the benefit? And the reason is because they want you to think that you are meaningless, right? They don't want you to know that there's more land. They're hiding free energy. They're hiding your true spiritual nature. They're hiding that you're at the center of creation, that, they don't want you to know that you are a powerful spiritual being, that your birthright is freedom and the ability to thrive and to experience this world for the amazing creation that it is. They want you to believe that you're meaningless and that we're running out of resources and we're running out of water and the nuclear bombs are going to take us out at any moment. And they want you living in fear and in isolation, because that way they can control you. If you knew that there was more, if you knew that, energy was free and you didn't have to pay for it, and if you knew the true power of your imagination and your mind, then they would lose control. So it's literally all about control.
Very interesting, because I'm very aware of those things, as far as, not wanting you to know your potential and the power that you hold and things of that nature. Like, I've heard all, it's like everybody says, oh, we've heard all that before. You know what I mean? We've heard all of that before. And it's not to say that it's not accurate, but there are those who would say, well, so I'll say, I've heard that before, but I've never heard that tie into the flat Earth, or I mean the round Earth.
So imagine you lived in an apartment building, the massive apartment building. It's 20 miles wide and it's 300 stories high, just a massive building. Okay. And the outside walls don't have any windows, or maybe they do. Doesn't matter. But you're not allowed to go that last mile to any of those walls. That's all off limits. So you can't even see it because it's too far away. All right, it's a mile away, and 10-foot high ceilings, perspective. You're not gonna be able to see it. It's off limits. And you have your job there on the 197th floor, and you shop on the 12th floor, and you met your girl on wherever at the gym, and life's pretty good. You're doing pretty well. You got a good job, and you like the nightclub. It's all cool. And then Crazy Dave comes up to you and goes, hey Jay, there's more out beyond that wall. He's like, nah, I'm good. It doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm doing well here. I don't need to hear your crazy conspiracy theories. Okay. Well, I'm like, there's more to this world. There's freedom. We can do things. There's a place called outdoors. You'd be like, nah, what difference does it make? Okay. Think how ridiculous that sounds. Okay.
Truman Show shit.
They don't want us. The True Man Show. The True Man Show. Go watch that Flat Earth movie again. Okay. Today's featured video on the app, by the way, is by my co-host Matt Long, about Aladdin, the movie Aladdin, another Flat Earth movie. They're constantly programming us. They're always telling us what's going on. It's part of the way this realm works, where they have to not break our free will, and they tell us what's going on all the time. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Once you see it, here's the thing. And I did the same thing. Like, oh man, that proof, sticks and shadows. Damn it, that doesn't work. And I'm like, well, what difference? Why would they lie? How do they get so many people to lie? What about all the people in the space program? And then once you get past that and you can start to see it, then you'll be like, oh my God, that's why, that it's totally about control. That we didn't even get into the space program, but if you look at any of the space stuff, here's a rocket that they launched the other day. Watch this thing. Rockets are helium balloons. Look at this thing. Something happened. It's just floating there. Look, look at the thing. It goes sideways. Okay.
Wow.
These are just fireworks and helium. And I watch when I think I give you the full shot here. They're like, where'd it go? And all of a sudden, oh, here it is. This thing is just a balloon. Okay. This thing's not going to space. And then they show us this crap. Okay. What is this? What is this? And then this thing, look, it's just falling apart. You have to believe that all of this stuff is real. And when it's not, nobody's ever been on a rocket. They show us the space shuttle. The International Space Station. Look at this. Where's the land? What would you say, being a glober? Where's the land?
It's on either side over the.
Okay, well, we're out in the middle of the ocean. Or am I deceiving you? And this was filmed in our front yard, and we just turned it upside down with a solar panel. Okay, that's how easy we did that with zero budget. Okay, NASA gets $65 million a day, right, to dazzle you with nonsense, right? When you really start looking at what they show us, and then you realize, okay, they're laughing at us at this point. It's just beyond it's beyond ridiculous. This is 40,000 pounds falling out of the sky. It's going to burn up before it gets to those clouds. Is that 40,000 pounds or is this a balloon? Okay, well, then now jump back. Here it is again. This is supposedly being filmed. This is the external tank on the space shuttle. And the guys that are filming it are in the shuttle. They're on their way to space, going over 20,000 miles an hour up and away, but somehow they're filming this falling back to Earth at the same time. How is that possible? This is a helium balloon.
They have this.
This is a balloon.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could very well be. That's
right.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the arguments too. And I've actually had this argument a very long time. Yeah. Is that Neil Armstrong and those guys made a very nice movie. A studio production.
Yeah, like they look at these guys. We just got back from the moon. Look how excited we are. Or those three guys being forced to lie. But here's what people say. No one's ever been a rocket. What about the Challenger astronauts? That was traumatizing.
Yeah.
You remember the Challenger?
I was going to ask you about that.
Every student saw that live. They wheeled television to every classroom. This is the first time they ever did that. And then they literally, it's called trauma-based mind control. And it's how they kick the can down the road. You're like, oh, I guess we're going to have to wait a few more years before you're going to be able to go to space. But what happened to those astronauts? Well, here they are. 6 of them have been identified. They all work at universities. They go by the same name. And they claim, oh, that's not me. That's my identical twin brother or twin sister. So 6 of them have yes, they have identical twins that go by the same name. And the funny thing is, none of those twins showed up to any of their siblings' funerals. Would you show up to your twin's funeral?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So wait a minute now. I know the guy, that's Ronald McNair, correct?
Yes.
McNair or however. Yep. Okay. And where's the updated photo of him?
This is
down there too?
Right here. This is him updated, and here's him as an astronaut. It's unbelievable. Like, we have some of them, we have videos of them speaking as an astronaut and speaking as his older person, like college professor. Same gestures, same dimples, same teeth, same expressions, same hand gestures, everything, same voice.
What?
Okay? Yes. It's unreal.
Wow.
It's unreal. In the app under Space Fakery, I believe, there's a whole playlist of shuttle videos really breaking it down on how they pulled this off. And again, it's right in front of our face. Right in front of our face.
Jeez.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. And you just have to remember, they're controlling our minds with cartoons. I won't say too much about this because it's going on YouTube. Cartoons. These are all cartoons. Okay. Cartoons.
Mind is infected.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane, right? Not over a spinning crazy ball with a bulge of water at the equator. Okay. So we're running out of time here. So
definitely, yeah.
Excuse me. So here's my suggestion. If you believe that the Earth is flat just because of this, I'm saying don't go there yet. I just pointed to a bunch of things to you, and I gave you a lot of homework to do. And that homework could all be found here on the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Oh, here he's trying to sell a $3 app. I walked away from a very profitable business that I started. I was in a commercial solar power development company, and I walked away from it all because I realized if we ever get our freedoms back, how long are we going to hold on to them if we're lost in space, spinning out of control? So I'm out here spreading this message because when you see the deception, everything changes. You become a different person. And life just gets better and better. If we have to do 2 things to get our freedom back. One is put on our big boy pants, face the fact space doesn't exist as described. We're not on a spinning ball. And the other is that's how they control us, by basically putting us in this jail, which is the globe. So they're limiting our thoughts. So we're not using our true manifestation abilities to manifest the world that we want. The other one is they control us physically or monetarily using their monopoly money, right? You ever play Monopoly?
Oh yeah, I'm the man at Monopoly.
So go read the instructions. You know what it says? If the bank runs out of money, what are you supposed to do? It says just get some pieces of paper and write some more
Yeah,
money
get some
on it.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're playing with their monopoly board. So we need to get off their monopoly board. And the way to do that is with decentralized cryptocurrencies, privacy cryptocurrencies, not what they're talking about, not the digital dollar that they want to put in. Because if we go with their centralized digital currency, we are slaves for the next 1,000 years, right? But if we get off of their play money, their monopoly money, and get into privacy coins like Pirate Chain or Monero, these are, if you don't know about this stuff, start educating yourself about privacy cryptocurrencies. And then that's how we win. If everyone woke up tomorrow and goes, you know what? I'm no longer listening to them. I'm no longer using their dollars. We're all going to use Monero, Pirate Chain. Bam. They're finished overnight. They have zero power. But the problem is, the psyop is they have us believing that we can't do anything about it. There's nothing we can do. And the truth is we can do it literally in an hour if everyone just says, no, I don't consent anymore, because it's our consenting that lets them remain in power. The only power someone has over you is in your imagination.
Awesome, man. Listen, it has been great to have you on. I want to be respectful of your time, but man, I could go on and on because there's a lot of things that this actually triggers in my thinking.
Here's my suggestion.
Maybe we'll.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, thought you were done.
No, I was gonna say maybe we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, no worries. Here's my suggestion. Get the app, click the little web button, and right on the second from the top left is DITRH interviews. Watch some more interviews like this. When your interview will be up there, and start watching those videos. Or over here on the right, full-length flat earth videos. Watch those. Just watch them. And then ask yourself some more questions, and then go out and verify the stuff yourself. And again, YouTube is like life. There's garbage, there's real stuff, there's fake stuff. You have to use your common sense and don't trade it in for nonsense. Okay. They've convinced you because the guy's wearing a bow tie and a lab coat that whatever he says is real. It's nonsense. So
very true.
Yeah. Go outside, sit down, close your eyes, and ask yourself, are you spinning in 4 different directions at once, or are you perfectly still?
All right, man. Hey, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate you.
All right, Jay. Thanks. Have a great day, and I'll send you this video when I'm done.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks. See ya.
You all love the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. The best tool to show your friends and strangers how the Flat Earth actually works. But are you ready for a Flat Earth app game changer? A new feature has been added. But first, a reminder of some of the existing features. Video of the day. World time. See what time it is all around the flat Earth. A true Earth compass that shows true navigation across and around the flat Earth plane. Weather. Tap for detailed local weather information. Know what phase and where the moon is at all times. Watch the sun travel between the tropics for the seasons. Select an amazing background. Add a countdown to your next big date. Video playlists in different languages. See the real trade winds circling the flat Earth. Top 21 frequently asked questions with quick pop-up video answers. Access to the best photos and GIFs at your fingertips. Flat Earth books and merchandise, and more. Now, the game-changer upgrade we've always dreamed of having. After a year in development, our app just went next level. You are now able to find Flat Earth app users near you. See where they are and send them an instant message in the app. Instantly arrange for a Flat Earther meetup. When activated, blue dots mark the location of the app users near you. You have 3 choices on showing your location. PP, to pinpoint. This marks your exact location. CC, for city center, which will place you within a few miles of your current location. Or turn off, which removes you from the map altogether. Use it when traveling, or when you're out for a day at the beach, or while eating out somewhere. Find out where other Flat Earthers are and connect. Find like-minded Flat Earth app users and regain your sanity. The Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app is the best tool to show your friends and strangers how our flat Earth actually works.